Hello and welcome to Football with Cheese. I am Cheese. Today we are going to be talking about college football playoff. There is a game tonight, a game tomorrow. I do not like the format, this 12-team format. I'm going to do a whole nother video on that probably next week. But we're just going to talk about the matchups briefly. I'm not going to get too in-depth, but I think Penn State, Notre Dame, this is a tough one to predict. I really don't know how good either team is. Let me explain. Penn State beat Boise State and SMU. That tells me nothing. It tells me absolutely nothing. Because those teams shouldn't have been in the playoff. And I will go over that, like I said, in the future video. They're not top 12 teams. We need the best 12 teams, and we didn't get that. So when Penn State almost beat Oregon, they only lost by 8 points. They put up 37 Oregon's defense, but gave up 45. I thought, wow, Penn State's pretty darn good. They're really good. And then Oregon, it was a 24-day layoff. I get it. Really hurt Oregon. But their defense got shredded by Ohio State as well. So maybe the Oregon defense was overrated. I don't know how good Penn State is. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois early in the year. Didn't show up. It was terrible. Obviously, probably helped their season by losing that game, because it's okay, we can lose to anybody if we just don't show up. And they play better, and they're a lot better team. They did beat Georgia, and they look good. But Georgia was a backup quarterback. Georgia played awful. Just awful. Georgia's offensive line was horrible in that game. So, yes, Notre Dame's great, get pressure. That's going to be the key is Penn State quarterback Drew Aller, if he has time. Penn State's got some weapons. Tyler Warren's an incredible tight end. If he has time to find those weapons, the receivers' tight ends are very good, then Penn State should win. If he doesn't have time, if they're getting pressure, if he starts turning the ball over, then Notre Dame will win. I do worry on the other side of the ball. Abdul Carter's a game-time decision. I think he'll play, the edge rusher for Penn State. By the way, moving him from off-ball linebacker to pass rusher, one of the smartest decisions Penn State's ever made. He is going to be a top 10 pick. Absolute stud pass rusher. In case you didn't know, I'm big in the NFL draft. This channel will talk about the draft a ton. Well, daily, sometimes multiple videos in a day leading up to the draft. But Abdul Carter, if he's not 100%, if he's limited or he can't play, then Penn State's in big trouble. Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Notre Dame, is much more mobile than Drew Aller. He's mobile. He can run around. But Abdul Carter changes the game. He's that impactful. I don't know what to do with this. I feel like I hate making predictions. I am 7-1. A lot of in the game so far, but a lot of people are doing. It was obvious Penn State was going to beat SMU. Come on, Texas was going to beat Clemson. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in a low-scoring game. I think Notre Dame's just a little better, but who knows? They're favored by 1, so against the spread, I'll take Notre Dame -1. The other game is Ohio State, Texas. So Ohio State, let's talk about them first. I don't know what happened against Michigan. I think this is just a guess. Maybe their coaches looked at Oregon tape during the week instead of Michigan tape, thinking, we'll beat Michigan. They lost all their players in the NFL. They weren't very good. And it was look ahead to the Big Ten championship game, which they didn't play in because they lost to Michigan. I don't know what happened in that game. I think if they play 50 times, Ohio State wins 49 of them, and this was the one. So Ohio State fell, didn't play in the championship game. Penn State played Oregon. They fell to the 8th seed. And I guess that game lit a fire under them. They have been incredible. They beat a really good Tennessee team, whooped them. They beat a really good Oregon team, whooped them, just destroyed them. And I don't think anyone's going to beat Ohio State. If they play like this, no one. They're going to win the next 2 games. And if you look at last year, when I make picks, a lot of the times I'm going to take the team that has the most NFL talent for the next year's draft. If you look at last year, the team that had the second most talent for the draft was Washington. And the team that had the most was Michigan, and they played in the finals. Now, of course, I just picked Notre Dame to beat Penn State. Penn State actually has more talent for next year's draft, so I actually went against that. Can I change my pick? I cannot change my pick. Oh, crap. I can. These are cheese rules. You can change. I can change during the game, at halftime, after the game. I'm going to start predicting games after it's finished, and that way I will never get one wrong. I came up with a perfect way to never get a prediction wrong. Now, I'm still going to take Notre Dame. But getting back to Ohio State, Texas, Ohio State has, I don't think they have any top 10 talents for the draft, but they could have 10 or maybe 12 top 100 picks. I think they're going to have, in the second and third round, in the 2025 draft, you're going to hear Ohio State, like every third or fourth pick, you're going to hear Ohio State guy. That's where you get starters, second, third round. Ohio State is so many players going to be drafted in the top 100. They are just, it's a loaded roster. Texas, so here's the thing with Texas. Their offensive line has got to play well. Ohio State defensive line is incredible, so they have got to play well, keep Quinn Ewers upright. But what concerns me more about Texas is their defense. Didn't look good against Georgia. Gave it 31 to Arizona State. I know they got way ahead and let them back in, so maybe it was playing safe. But if you get 31 to Arizona State, who has a good offense, but Ohio State's is better. Ohio State's offense has been scoring over 40 the last two games against Tennessee and Oregon's defense, which were very good defenses before those games. So Texas, they've got to get stops, and I don't think they can. And I just don't understand. One thing about Texas that I do not understand, I get loyalty. Quinn Ewers came back. He was the starter, but Arch Manning should be the starter. He should have been the starter from day one. He's better. He's a better passer. He's more athletic. He is the first pick in the 2026 draft, almost guaranteed. The dude is incredible. He has a better arm than Eli or Peyton, his uncles. He should be starting. He should have started all year. And I think that's going to cost Texas. Quinn Ewers is just too inconsistent. And one more thing, I don't know how Texas, they got some good guys in the secondary, but I don't know how they're going to cover those receivers for Ohio State. Those three receivers. Jeremiah Smith is a freshman. He's one of the best receivers in the country, maybe the best. The other guy, I would say, is right there on par, is Ryan Williams, Alabama. Both freshmen. We get to see these two guys play for 2 more years. I just don't know how Texas is going to cover all these guys. Oh, and Ohio State also has 2 really good running backs that could be drafted in the top 100. Absolutely loaded. Bunch of great offensive linemen. I think Ohio State wins big, covers the 6. I'm surprised it's not 8 or 9. And I don't think Notre Dame or Penn State, I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State either. We'll see what happens. There could be injuries. Stuff could change. So, yeah, that's what I think. Now, since I predicted it, congratulations, Texas and Penn State, on your victories. Because I predicted the other way. That's how it goes. That's what goes here on Football with Cheese. My predictions. Hadn't had the best year. But, yeah, I'll work on it. I'll get better. And thank you for coming to my cheese talk. I appreciate it. Subscribe. Tell your friends in the comments any kind of videos you'd like to see. Big into college football, NFL, draft, any of that. Leave a comment on who do you think is going to win these games, these college games. And tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to do a video previewing the AFC, and the next day I'll preview the NFC games this week. Like I said, thumbs ups. Have an awesome day.